This is CWTFB Radio. I am your host, Charlie Machine. Today, we doing the first remote recording of this thing, man. This is kind of crazy, man. I've heard audio from this platform. Shout out Squadcast. You know what I mean? It came out really good. This is my first time using it. I'm just really excited to even have a platform to use while we doing this quarantine life, because COVID-19 is running rampant out here. You know what I mean? I feel like I've just been talking about this shit way too much, man, but it's kind of hard not to talk about, you know what I mean? But real quick, shout out to my sponsor, Details Car Audio and Auto Detailing, right on 925 Turnpike Street in Canton, Mass. That's right on Route 138. For all your tinting needs, all your car audio needs, remote starters, detailing interior, exterior. You know, sometimes we might come up on some wheels. Well, don't come up, but like, ain't nobody coming up on nothing. We might have some wheels for sale or whatever, car accessories, truck accessories, motorcycle accessories, things of that nature, man. Anything that you need, just run up in there, let them know that Charlie sent you. We'll lace you up. As long as we could do it, we'll take care of you. If we can't, well, then we'll refer you to the people who can, man. So Details, 925 Turnpike Street. That's right on Route 138 in Canton. Tell them Charlie sent you. Today, I got one of my favorites, one of Boston's favorites here. It's somebody I've been watching for a little while, since I want to say 2010, 2011. Even when I was doing my rap thing, and he was a young nigga doing his thing. And that's really what kind of stood out to me, because he was younger than most of the niggas that I knew that was rapping, but he was rapping like a grown ass fucking man. So y'all see him right here, man. It's my man Deon Chase. What's good, baby?
What up, man?
How you doing, dog? How's everything?
Chilling, trying to do the best I can during these times. How you feeling, man?
I hear you, man. I'm feeling scruffy, dog. That's why I got the hat on, dog.
Bro, I'm over here looking like I'm going through my own changes. I'm realizing once I go to a barber, I don't know what I'm about to do.
Yo, listen, man. Listen, this is happening to the best of us right now, man. But you know, I mean, so let's talk about COVID, man. Since it's like the topic at hand, right? Because that's the only reason why we're here. Because if it wasn't for COVID, we would have been in the same building right now. So,
of course.
So, how's that impacting you as a creator right now?
To be honest, it hasn't limited the studio time.
Okay.
It's just limit the possibilities of getting people in the same space.
Right.
So it's like, it's not even a schedule situation. It's like, all right, we got the time. Are you able to come if you feel comfortable? Like that's the new phrase. If you comfortable.
If you comfortable.
Yeah. So that's the issue with the engineers, issue with the artists, everything.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I feel like people with children, you know, they're gonna be more reluctant to say yes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because realistically, man, like my shorty's pregnant. You know, I got a baby boy on the way, man. I got a 4-year-old dog now. Thank you, man. I'm excited, dog. I'm mad excited.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't care what his name is. We're gonna call him CJ from San Andreas, nigga. You know what I mean? But you know, like, I don't want to expose myself to no crazy shit and come back home and end up infected, you know, home base. So I understand that regard. And even if you don't have children, bro, niggas just got to be healthy. You got to be out here moving and grooving, being able to do what you got to do. You know what I mean? So I get it, man. But where are you recording at? Do you have a home studio, or are you going to studio?
I could record from the crib, but to be honest, I'm on like my new recording process is kind of recording at the studio.
Okay.
Just doing takes. So the whole no writing process, that's like my new thing.
Okay. So you just going in there doing multiple takes and then bang, that's your verse type shit.
Yeah. So it's like, you know, we do a little take. If I like what I got, then I'll build on it. If I don't, then I like the melody or whatever the flow is, then I'll build on that. But the writing process kind of been slow.
That's how Jay-Z records. You
know
what I mean? So
he just got better mental capacity than me. Like, my memory sucks. I can't write in my head. Like Khalif, the homeboy Khalif, he writes in his head. Like, I can't do that. I can't write in my head. I gotta go in there, record it, hear it back, build on it, hear that, build. So the people that do that, props to them.
Well, that's crazy. I mean, like, that's a whole different part of the mind, man. Like, when I was rapping, I couldn't do that shit. You know what I mean? Like, I'd be able to do the takes type shit.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like 4 balls at a time type deal.
Yep.
You know what I mean? But anything more than 8 bars is like, damn. It's like it's brain jumble. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Like,
yeah. I
no
started thinking about my license plate. I might mix that in there.
Mix the license plate. But as far as you, man, I mean, with the music, bro, the last joint you dropped was it Sunset Blues?
Yep.
That was December, right? December?
Yeah, that was December. Yeah.
December, man. So I love the project. I mean, I honestly I haven't heard a project from you that I didn't like.
I appreciate that.
But nah, for real, man. You've always spit quality. But before we even get into Sunset Blues, run people through your story, like as far as you in the rap scene. Like, where you from? Like, what part of the city you from?
Phil's Corner, Dorchester.
Okay, Phil's Corner, Dorchester, right? So, what inspired you to rap?
What inspired me? Yo, to be honest, I got a weird story where I started off so young that hip hop in general was like a school for me.
Okay.
Because I started off of, I got a lot of older uncles. I got no uncles myself that's older than 50, so everybody's under 30 when I started rapping. So you got to think, early 90s, they're in their teen years, so they listen to Biggie, Pop. They're into hip hop. So when they see me get into hip hop, they're like, "Yo, you know what? You gotta remember Biggie verses." So
they
1
excited.
week, remember this. Come back to me in a week. Rehearse the whole thing. Spit it to me. So that was like the crash. Basically, it's like
it was like hip hop trivia for you.
Yeah. So it's like, we're gonna give you this verse from Pop. We're gonna give you this verse from Biggie. Whatever one you like personally, come back. Just surprise us. Spit.
What was the first verse you memorized?
10 Crack Commandments are weird.
Really?
Yeah.
How old was you when you did that?
Damn, how old? Probably 7?
7. Jesus Christ. That's crazy.
Because I remember the first time I remember spitting like 2 bars that came from me. It was during what year was, when did the Red Sox win the first World Series?
04.
That's when I remember my first bars. That came up off the top. We was watching one of the games, and I spit something. I was like, yo, this shit's kind of dope. And I kept on saying it in my head. So this is like 04, so I was probably like around like 8.
Wow. Yeah. What year was you born?
94.
94, okay. You was born in 94, so what does that make you, 26?
I'm 25 right now, turning 26.
Okay. All right, so continue with your story, bro. I'm all cutting you off and shit.
Oh, no,
I hear Lil Man in the back getting rowdy.
Yeah, he's fighting. He's about to go into the hole right now. He's fighting not to go in the hole. CO's about to get him.
CO's about to lock his ass up, yo.
But not like, so basically like the whole thing was remember how to rap and understand what bars were. So like my uncle he's the youngest out of the family, so he was around 13 when I started rapping.
Okay.
And all his siblings is 10 years older than him. So I was like his little brother. So it's one of those things where whatever he's into, he's going to make me be into. So hip hop at that time, going into high school, middle school for him, it's like, I got my little man with me. I got to have him up to date so he's cool when he kicks it with me.
Right.
So I'm learning all these rappers. First CD I ever bought, 50 Cent, Get Rich or Die Trying. And it's like I snuck that into the cart. My mom's buying stuff. I sneak that in there.
That's
She's
funny.
like, she don't really care about music like that, so she don't care if it has like the parental advisory. So she's like, all right, let me hear it in the car. You know how the album starts off.
Right. With the fucking.
Boom. Oh shit, nigga shot me. Oh shit.
Right.
Yeah,
you got the gun cocking and then G on it.
So she's hearing that. She's like, yo, this is what you listen to?
Right.
And to me, I'm like, oh, this is a movie.
Right.
Yo, this dude really put this in an album?
Right.
And you hearing the backstory, yo, he got shot 9 times. So, this is the whole G Unit phrase where everybody's going crazy with it.
Right. Niggas could have sworn that they was part of G Unit back then.
Oh, of course. So I'm hearing this at the same time. I got one of my older cousins who's running the streets, doing his rap thing too, but more in the streets.
Right.
And I'm looking up to him every time I'm around him. I'm like, yo, I got these bars. He's giving me little, what do you call them? The black and white notebooks.
Right. The composition notebooks.
Yeah, he's giving me those. He's like, yo, write your raps in here. When I got time, show me them. So I'm just trying to inspire somebody to be like, yo, see what I'm doing?
Right, Lil Cuz is doing it.
Yeah. So I'm over there just trying to show people I can rap, but at the same time, not taking it serious where I'm trying to be a rapper. But at the same time, I'm low-key setting up to be like, I'm going to record my stuff, understand the music stuff. And while there, because I came in a weird stage where people who were rapping in Boston at that time, they understood the studio setup.
Right.
But me, being young, I'm looking at it like, yo, I got a laptop.
Right.
This got a microphone.
What I need a studio for.
Yeah, so I'm like the first people, I feel like, in the city at the time of coming up, who seen people do the traditional route of, all right, we go to the studio, we record. Me, I'm like, yo, there's a program called Audacity. You can record your shit right away. And this is early, like, before Pro Tools and everything. So I'm like,
crazy, dog. That's so crazy to hear this. Now, keep going.
Yeah, so I'm like, now I'm like around 9.
Oh, man.
I told my pops, I'm like, yo, I like to make music. He's trying to sign me up for Pop Warner and all this shit.
Right.
That's not my lane. I knew this early. This is not my lane. I don't do Pop Warner. I don't do no. But my cousins do that. So I'm going to the Y Saturdays playing ball with people. I'm doing all the youth games, but I'm not doing AAU. I'm not taking anything serious. I'm just trying to write. I'm just trying to write music. Any what was it? J Arms. You know the CDs.
Which ones?
The J Arms, the instrumentals.
Oh yeah.
Oh, wow. That's what I'm on. So anytime like my cousin would have a pack, I'm taking one of those. I'm stealing them. I'm doing a burner. I'm giving them back the original. I'm going home. I'm going LimeWire, looking up instrumentals. I'm rapping.
LimeWire.
Yeah. So this is and this is the crazy thing because I'm like 9 years old and this is my first time getting on the internet. But the only thing I'm using is for like any resource to get. Yeah.
Right.
So I'm learning that. So I told my pops, probably now going into 5th grade, I'm like, yo, if I'm able to get all A's, would you take me to Guitar Center? It's this store where you could go buy audio equipment, music stuff. He's like, I don't care. He's like, yo, if you don't do anything stupid, get all A's, I'll get you something for $300. So I'm like, all right, cool.
That's decent.
I get my first microphone and I get a mixer.
Okay.
Mixer I never used. Yeah. I never used it though, because yo, I'm still freaking 10 years old, 11. I don't know how to use it. I just bought it because I'm looking online. Yo, these are the things you're supposed to get.
Right.
I only got a laptop at that time. I'm still using my uncle's laptop. I don't got a laptop.
Cause you 9, nigga. Shit.
Yeah. But I got high hopes. I'm like, yo, I'm about to set my shit up at the crib. I'm watching all these YouTube videos. You could like do things from home. And I'm trying to explain it to people. People's like, yo, you should still go to a studio. So this introduced me to Cambridge Sound Bridge.
Okay.
Which is Arc.
Right.
So Archetype. I knew Archetype when I first started rapping. So my first tape was done at his studio, but I was just like, you know, some kid who's buying time. You're not really known in the scene.
What was the name of your first tape again?
Champion Feels.
And that was 11, right? 11.
Yeah, that was 11. So that was like when I was around 13 when I first put that out.
Wow.
But a lot of the stuff that I wrote was probably 2 years prior.
Okay.
So I was just holding on to stuff.
Right.
This is around the same time when J. Cole came out with the warm up.
Okay.
So this is when I really started taking things serious. So it's like a couple years in between where I was just playing around with things, just trying to rap on audio with Audacity.
That's when 2011, you was what, 15, 16?
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's like when I first put my first tape together. I bought a 5-track, a CD burner from the crib. Bought that, saved money from working at the grocery store.
Wow.
Put some money up, bought some blank CDs, started going to the high school, started passing things out. Middle school, passing things out.
Damn.
Trying to solidify things.
Damn.
Which kind of leads me to the story with Av.
Okay. So so how did that happen? Because I want to tell you your story from my perspective, right? So, you know, niggas, this is MySpace days, you know what I mean? SoundCloud was just getting popping. You know what I mean? Like, was just coming around. Twitter was big at the time in the city, at least. I got on Twitter in 2009, I want to say. And you was one of the first names I really recognized as like a new name in the city, like when it came to music. And I'm like, all right, who's this Deon Chase cat? So I looked into your music and I'm like, yo, this nigga's nice. And then I found out how old you were. And I was like, yo, what the fuck? I was like, yo. I'm like, yo, this nigga's like 4 or 5 years younger than me, dog. It's just crazy. Like, and so from then on, like, I always, followed your music. And it was just more like, yo, it's a breath of fresh air. Now, I don't know if you followed the show, but I interviewed this kid named Doctrine. This young cat from like Holbrook. He's like half white, half black. Mm-hmm. And he just turned 18. And I told him, I was like, bro, like your story's not similar to Deon Chase's, but from your perspective of where you are in life right now, because he just turned 18, I'm like, you just remind me a lot of Deon Chase, because that little nigga's rapping like a grown man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like he could do this shit. And what I would classify you as is a rapper's rapper, because you don't, you know what I mean? I don't really feel like you follow trends. You just kind of do your thing, right? You get inspired by certain things, and then you get in this, you get in the stew and you do whatever it is that you do. But it's always quality. But let's get back into that story about how you and Av connected, because I thought that was a big look for the both of you, man, because y'all both complement each other really well.
Nah, because so like my first thing when I first started getting onto Twitter and stuff like that, because at that time, because the biggest part of my story is that my uncle, who was around the same age as me, started going to college. He went to Syracuse. So he started getting introduced to a lot of New York people. Okay. And his people out in New York, a lot of them were from Bronx, and they had a bunch of people that was on Twitter. So when he came back during his first break, he was like, yo, you should use this thing called Twitter, where you can just basically meet anybody you want to meet. And he's like, one of my boys is cool with this dude. I don't know if you know Twitter word like that, but you know King Zeddy?
Nah.
You know Titty Tuesdays and all that?
Nigga, Titty Tuesdays is why I joined Twitter, nigga.
Yeah, he was the king of that.
Really?
Yeah, okay. he was the king. He used to have chicks write their name on their titties, post a picture up and all that.
Titty Tuesdays was lit. They don't do shit like that no more, man.
Yeah, but I'm saying, yo, so I hit him up and I'm like, yo, I'm trying to get my fans up and I'm trying to get the follower thing going. How do I do it? He's like, yo, follow my game plan. Start talking crazy on Twitter. Just start, anytime you see anybody mention anything, just say something outlandish to them. It could be random. Like, they could be talking about, like, yo, I just cleaned my bathroom. Just be like, yo, you Herb.
Right.
And just start a battle.
Right, with your shit stains everywhere type shit. Like, I mean, like, you disgusting motherfucker.
Yeah, and he's like, yo, be outlandish. Because the first thing I was like, all right, let me get some fans. Let me get this account some numbers.
Right.
I'm doing crazy things. I'm going back and forth with people. I'm just doing a bunch of, like, straight
just dumb shit.
Dumb, corny shit that I wouldn't do now. But I was like, yo, I gotta get my numbers up.
Right.
So I get the account up to 1,000. I'm like, yo, this is a benchmarker. Let me change the handle. Because before I had some random handle. Because I was like, I'm not gonna be Deon Chase doing all this dumb shit.
Right.
So I changed the handle.
Man. It's funny that you got that marketing like mindset that early in the game, because you was just more like, I'm not trying to like distort my brand type shit. You know what I'm saying? So,
and yo, at the same time, during that time, I was big on blogs, so I was already on the forums. I before music, I'm still in, but I'm big onto sneakers. So like during that time, I was like heavy in the sneaker community. So like Soul Collector, ISS, that was like my space. And I used to chill at Concepts a lot before they used to be Concepts. So I used to skate and all that. So I used to be with all the skaters, being the SBs and all that. So I used to be in the back of the store chilling with people. But I'm like 13, 12, chilling with dudes who's like 28.
Right.
But I used to go there every day, and they used to be like, yo, what do you do? Like, you just come here.
Right.
And nobody knew I rap. Because that was just like something I'm building. I'm like, I'm not going to tell people I'm a rapper until like I got music.
Right. Until they know that I'm a rapper type
shit. Yeah. So during that time, I'm like, you know what? Let me go on the internet, because I'm realizing there's like a whole internet world where people becoming rappers.
Right.
I was like, let me start doing this thing. I started figuring out the Twitter situation. MySpace was I was still on MySpace, but I really wasn't.
Right.
I wasn't old enough. Okay. So I figured out the Twitter world.
I wasn't old enough.
I wasn't. Like, I was on MySpace for sure. Like, I definitely was on
MySpace beef, nigga. Like, I had like real, like, if I see this nigga in the street type shit, I'm like, something's gonna happen type shit.
All I knew was top 8. I knew about setting up the music on your page, doing the whole glitter shit. We could change the background.
I had the money falling from the sky type shit. Yeah, man. I had the AK-47s is my fucking screensaver type shit.
I remember that, but during that time, I wasn't making music. So it's like, all right, that's just for fun.
Right.
But then when I started doing the music, YouTube just started really popping off, where you could actually see, like, yo, you could upload your own stuff.
Right.
Even if it's a home-based setup. So what I started doing, I saved up some money and got like a little Kodak, like flip camera. It was like $85. I remember the price too, because I had to pay for it.
Right.
So I bought this thing, came with like a little tripod. I set up my first video. This is during the time Kanye just dropped My Dark Twisted Fantasy.
Okay, so that was
I don't even know the year.
2012?
Yeah, around then.
Yeah.
I shot a little video. Even before that, I did a remix to J. Cole's record off of the warm-up. And I shot everything I'm shooting by myself. So I have a tripod. I do 6 different takes. I'm like, all right, we're going to shoot it from here, shoot it by myself, set it up.
That's real shit.
And just start shooting things. And I was like, yo, I'm going to learn how to edit videos. I started doing mad trials, and I started learning about torrents online, buying fake programs.
Wow.
So I'm over there downloading Pro Tools, downloading Final Cut, downloading
nigga, you
Premiere.
ain't saying nothing. How you think I got Logic and Final Cut Pro right now, nigga?
Yo, same situations. So I'm over here downloading these things, and I'm like, all right, I got to teach myself. So I'm watching tutorials, teach myself Photoshop.
Yeah.
Till today, I still do all my artwork. So everything's like done by me. Every little promo clip you see is done by me.
Wow.
Even when it comes to videos, talking to the videographers, it's like,
you a legit a one-man team.
Yeah, I try to do everything by myself.
That's good shit.
Yeah, because even when it comes to the communication of dealing with somebody's going to do your videos,
right,
it's better knowing the terminologies and the way to get things done. Mm-hmm. So when you present it, I got the storyboard. This is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to do these type of shots. I'm trying to set this up. I know you got to do this. So there's no BS. Because a lot of times when you're dealing with business, they're going to tell you, yo, it costs this much for me to rent this, and then I'm going to do this. It's like, nah, we can make this quick and simple. I know exactly what we got to do.
Right.
Do in 5 minutes.
Nigga, I got the equipment. You want to use it? Like, tape shit.
Yeah. Same way. But moving back, so when it came to like trying to find people in the city who's around my age, it was like, yo, I got to find people online who I can make music with. So the main thing was like, I know the people who's popping in the city, but they're not going to respect me to be like, yeah, I'm going to make a record with this dude. Go do this and do this with this young dude.
Right.
Especially during that time, but Boston music at that time, bro. It's like you gotta be in the streets to be honest. I'm gonna be honest.
Right.
So it's like, even like when it came to like people who's in my family, it's like I don't want to align myself too much because I know the tension they got around them.
Right.
So for me to take the music thing serious, I can't be associated with this person too much.
I understand, bro.
Yeah. It was a couple people I could have been cool with, but longevity is like, it would rub people the wrong way. Right, but when it came to Av, I wasn't in the Roxbury world. I was like, I'm a Dorchester kid, so all I knew was the beef over here. So I'm like, this kid is on this cypher thing. I was like, yo, this dude's the only dude.
Boston cypher shit was fire.
But he was the only one that caught my attention because I'm like, yo, this dude could like actually. They all could rap. I forget who was on it.
It was Lee Boy, Chilla Jones, Finesse, Av, and I think there was one more.
Chilla Jones, I knew his name, and I'm like, he's definitely not gonna work with me.
Day Parks.
And Day Parks. And what's funny, Day is actually cool with Av. So at the time, I was like, yo, I'm just gonna hit up whoever. I hit up Av.
Yo, you know what's funny, my nigga? Sidebar, man. Like for you motherfuckers, man, for you niggas that don't know your Boston history, man, when it comes to this rap shit, man, like that cypher shit was crazy.
Oh yeah.
And what the fucked up thing is that I say these names now, Chilla Jones, everybody knows who Chilla Jones is. Av, everybody knows who Av is. But if I say Day Parks,
bodied it.
Nobody knows who he is anymore, bro. And he
actually bodied Av on
that shit. He bodied that shit. Lee Boy, I'm about to have a sit down with Lee Boy real soon, so I ain't even gonna say nobody knows who he is. And niggas do know who he is, but niggas is disappointed in that nigga right now, right? But you fucking who else? Finesse. That nigga was nice too, bro. Like, what the fuck, bro?
And
like,
and I'm gonna tell you something. I don't even think I ever told Av. The reason why I went with choosing Av mainly is because I'm like, yo, he's the only one on social media and stuff that doesn't have anything. Like, he wasn't heavy on it. He wasn't heavy on Twitter and like actually promoting he was a rapper. It was like his name was listed on the description on YouTube. So I'm like, I'm about to just follow this dude and hit him up and be like, yo, I make music.
Right.
And for some strange reason, he hit me back. He's like, yo, you think it's dope? What do you record? And at that time, I started recording with International Show.
Shout out International Show, man. That's my guy.
And this is when he was building up his little resume, getting his studio situated.
Yeah.
And at that time, I'm like, yo, I gotta find somebody in the city. He introduced me to Show mainly, even though I was going before him, but he kind of like tied up like, yo, this is my man's gonna go to the studio, hit up Show, start doing records, and then we started doing collab joints because I'm like, yo, this is just rap. But to me, I'm looking at it like, yo, this is just rap.
Right.
Him, he's like, yo, there's a lot of things that go into this if I'm gonna rap.
Right.
So that was like the first introduction. It's like, all right, if you're gonna be a rapper, you gotta start being on your P's and Q's when it comes to like actually showing who you are. Because nowadays everybody just raps.
Right.
Like that's why when it comes to me, I'm like the first rapper in the city that became a rapper off rip.
What do you mean by that?
Like looking at it, I feel like I'm the only one who became a rapper off of being a rapper.
Like you wasn't
like there's no background. There's no back. Like even though people know me,
right,
from not being a rapper, but for the most part, if somebody knows of me, they just know.
They know you as being a rapper, right.
There's there's nothing. Somebody could be like, yo, he's actually like this. That does this. He used to play ball. He used to be a football player.
He used to sell drugs. He used to do this. He used to whatever. Nah, I mean, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense, actually.
So even like people nowadays, like there's people that just come out the gate rapping, but for the most part, it's quick to be like, oh, he actually used to go to this school, used to do this, he used to do that.
Right.
But for
me, I have no idea where you went to high school.
And it's like a lot of people don't. But if you do know me, I'm not shy about anything. They ain't nothing. Yeah, so it's like for those people that wanted to rap and be rappers, it was comfortable to work with me.
Okay.
Because they knew it was like, yo, this dude's just straight rap.
Yeah, it's go time.
Like he cares about the quality of the music, cares about the lyrics, cares about making music. He's not gonna bring me no drama.
Right.
We're gonna produce something that people's gonna get their eyes caught on.
So all right. So let's talk of that. So I've noticed that from an early point with you, that you care about the quality, you care about the content, and you care about how things sound, right? So when you first started working with Av, what was the first like major record that got y'all like together like that? Everybody started noticing.
Damn. Yo, I'm so bad with titles, but it's the joint that let me see this shit. It was on a J Arms instrumental pack.
J Arms instrumental.
It was a I think the joint's called Unabomber by J. Cole.
Okay.
But we called it, let me see if I can look this up real quick.
You got the internet right there, dog.
Yeah, I'm about to look this up. It was. But the funny thing is with this record, I told him, because this is like my freshman or sophomore year of high school. And I started getting into like video editing as like this program we had at my school. So I was like, yo, what?
Where'd you go to high school?
New and North.
Okay. Damn, nigga, how'd you get over there, Metco?
What?
How'd you get over there, Metco?
Nah, my mom took the route of trying to find some housing out there.
Okay.
So like,
your mom's smart.
Yeah, but like right after I graduated, we went back.
right back to the hood.
Yeah. That's all. I went straight back. The joint we had was called Glorified.
Okay. Wow.
But it was a J. Cole. It was a J. Cole joint.
Wow. Why does that name sound so fucking like I feel like that I remember that record, Glorified.
Yeah, because that was the first time something was shot where it was like two rappers that made a video off rip that had no connections, no like prior history. And that's, to be honest, that's kind of like the attention that got a lot of people in the scene introduced to me. Because I know a lot of people didn't really, people who knew me, like my family members and like friends, they knew I rap, but like people in like the Boston music scene was like, oh, this is Deon Chase, this is who raps, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
So that record I had my uncle come with me, met up with him and his boy, and we shot the video in North End. I don't know why we went to the North End.
It's a historical part of Boston, man. I can see that.
But even when you watch the video, it's like it has nothing to do with that. I was like, yo, we just need mad people in the background looking busy. I was like, we just want to go over there.
Yeah.
We shoot that. I go back to school, edit it, show him. I had my fake record label that I had, Glory Status.
Glory Status, okay.
And it was like a one-man show. Yo, the whole thing with me is like, a lot of people think there was like a team behind me. I had a fake email with a fake name under somebody who's my manager, but it was just directly straight to me. I made a fake person's name.
Nigga.
The phone number. I had a phone number on a business card for a manager, but it went directly to my uncle who just forwarded me the messages.
Wow.
Like there was a lot of things where I was like, yo, I just gotta look like something's behind me.
I gotta look official. I gotta make sure this shit looks tight.
Yeah, and just to like bounce the BS, because you know, you go to a show and people's like, yo, I got this opportunity for you.
But yeah,
like, yo, hit my manager.
Right.
And you could just filter through.
That actually makes a lot of sense, man. So let's fast forward, man. I mean, like, when do you feel like you started getting your respect as a rapper within this region, this city?
I'll say around like a little before like the 12 for 12 movement.
The what movement?
12 for 12.
12 for 12. What was that?
That was like there was this cat, Tim LaRue, not some cat, but Tim LaRue. He had like this little movement, He had this little movement that he was running with, and it was kind of like, it was online meetups for artists or like Boston personalities to link up. Okay. And this is like the first of like, this is like the swing of Boston music where it was like, all right, whether you directly do things from home or you're in the scene, this is the time where you should meet up and like collaborate with people who want to make music or do art or who does graphic designs or do
or whatever
fashion.
the case may be, right?
Yeah. So during this time, I wasn't officially a part of the movement,
right?
But it was like that tail end of, all right, there's enough people in the city who just are known for making music. Okay. So we had that little stage, and with that, it was kind of one of those things where me being, I don't know, I hate the word, like a pioneer of being like a rapper in the city that was young enough to still be relevant. Not on.
Right. But you was relevant.
Yeah, it was relevant. Yeah, it was relevant to the point where the people who did start making music, they'll be like, oh, that's Deon Chase. He's not far-fetched. Like, he's still in the scene, still young enough, so I know exactly what he's up to. Okay. I know people that know him. Yeah. And that was like the point where people was making music. It was an easy transition to be like, yo, that's Deon. So every time I pull up to an event, people automatically be like, that's Deon. Right. So to me, it was like a shocker because I'm just coming through, just trying to do the same thing as everybody
You're
else.
Just trying to put on people. Type shit.
Yeah. But to them, they're like, oh, that's Deon. I seen his videos already. Because that was the stage where a lot of people didn't make videos.
Yeah. I remember that.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't doing videos then. When I was rapping, I wasn't doing videos, but I saw you was doing videos. And I was just like, how is he doing this?
And that's the thing, like,
little did I know you was doing this shit your damn self, nigga.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
And that's the thing where it's like I did it myself, so a lot of people who wasn't even like the whole videographer thing, like that thing came during the time where everybody started making music because the whole Canon and the whole Nikon camera shit.
I'll tell you this much. There was, at that time, like around 2012, 2013, maybe even 2014, there was a lot of niggas who couldn't succeed as rappers that realized that they were better as the background guys. And it was like, you know what, I'm gonna just go out and spend, you know, a rack on this Canon, on this Nikon, whatever, and now I'm gonna make videos. And then they actually became really good at it. You know what I'm saying? It was no knock on them, but I was glad for that time period, because it kind of weeded the rappers out and everything else out. You know what I'm saying? Because it was just more like, if you ain't really about this life, man, if you really don't want to do this rap life, nigga, pick your lane, nigga, and stick to it. And the niggas who still want to rap is still here. Even me, nigga, you look at me like, I was 1 foot in, 1 foot out in the streets, 1 foot in, 1 foot out with the rap. So like, I didn't really, you know what I mean? I didn't commit to music. You know what I'm saying? Music was one of those things that was just more like, I could rap, so I'll rap. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? But there's people who literally made an emotional and like a goal-sensed commitment. Like, I'm doing this shit for real, and you was one of those guys. So let's flash forward, man, because you did a lot of shit, man. Like, when all right, so you linked with Av. So what happens next? What's the big milestone for you? What would you say?
The milestone is just keeping up the music to quality taste where people will be like, like you said, still rapping up par with people who seem older. And that's like I feel like the biggest pull with me is that I was the generational kind of split between people in the city. Whereas like, you know, Av was close enough to my age, but he still wasn't in my generation. Right. Even though it's a couple years off, that couple years was a big thing, because I'm basically like the digital age.
Of course.
Where Av was still digital, but he's like
right in the middle type shit.
Yeah, right in the middle. Like he's a definition of being in the middle, while I was on that later edge. So everybody who's basically in middle school going into high school, they all looking at me like, yo, he's the only one our age. So in the city, everybody who's basically, I'll say it now, everybody who's popping now, they definitely know either of me, or it could be like, oh, when I was in middle school or high school, I seen this video.
So were you big on the SoundCloud at that time?
SoundCloud was a little later.
Because I feel like the SoundCloud era, when did the SoundCloud really pop?
SoundCloud popped, I'll say 2015, 16 for Boston.
Okay. Because when I gave up rap, like when I want to say when I stopped rapping was 2013. You know what I'm saying? So like,
that's like when, if you was early on SoundCloud, you will be like a pioneer of being on it, on the platform itself. Right.
I had a SoundCloud, but like, was it popping? Nah. Yeah, I mean, like,
but just in general, SoundCloud wasn't really popping. It was just like, it was there.
It was a thing. Like, it was just a platform to put your music on.
It's like TikTok right now. Like, TikTok right now is at its peak, but if you was on it a couple months before, you would be like, nobody uses TikTok. What's a TikTok?
I'm gonna tell you like this: don't get on the TikTok. That's a Chinese company.
You know Chinese?
No. I'm being dead ass, bro. Like, them Chinese companies, they got different laws. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, when it comes to the communist shit, they gonna share information. They gonna store information. They gonna
that's why I'm iffy on it right now. Like, it's a
like, I have no intentions on downloading that app, my nigga.
The only thing is that they infiltrated the system where, as an artist, it's kind of now a norm to have a TikTok or be on it.
Yeah, that's what's up.
So
I'm straight.
Like, as a moral standing, I feel you, but at the same time, it's like it bleeds so much in the business where it's like, if you're not a part of it, you get lost in the wave.
I mean, you know what I mean? Yeah, that's what's up. But yeah, anyway.
Nah, I feel you though.
Nah, bro. Like, when it comes to, like, you know, cybersecurity and shit like that, like, I do believe that shit's a real thing. And like, piracy, like, when it comes to like, I mean, bro, like, I'm straight. Like, I'm just straight. But anyway, that's a whole nother story. But so let's move on to Conspiracy. Let's move on to the BAU joint, man. Like, how did that happen?
Yo, that was kind of a thing where what's crazy is like I try not to talk about this nigga so
Frank
much.
the Butcher, man.
This nigga Av is like attached to my story so much that it's kind of annoying. But me and him was basically we was like overtime in the studio, always working. We came out with Trap Vogue.
Yeah.
Every day dealing with each other. And we're like actual friends too. That's the thing that's weird about it, because people see as like, yo, that's Av, the entity of Avenue, and then there's Deon Chase.
Right.
But it's like outside of that, we actually homeboys. Like, we talk.
And you know what's funny, man? Like I was expecting for this to be like a joint thing, but I'm actually kind of glad that he's not on it, in the sense where it's like, I talk to Av more than I talk to you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's like I want to hear your story. You know what I'm saying? Hear things from your perspective. So I'm kind of glad that it's working out this way. I mean, no shot to Av, but that's my nigga. Yeah. But like, you know what I mean? It's I want to hear your story, man. So I'm kind of glad that it worked out that way. But yeah, continue.
Nah, so like we was just working in the studio like every day. I'm talking about like from 5 p.m. till like 2 a.m. with like an intervening point. We go to the casino. We'll hit Rhode Island, go to the casino, come back to the studio, bang out records. And then it's like, all right, yo, we got these opportunities. There's people in the city. There's this dude, Frank. And mind you, like I said, back in the day, I was at Concepts, and this is like when Frank was actually working at Concepts. I knew of Frank. Like, I knew who he was. I knew what he meant to the sneak and like clothes world. Av knew him more as like, yo, this is this dude that does like collabs with brands and like he makes music. Yo, I think it's a good opportunity. I've been talking to him. He's trying to get into production. He likes my shit. Yo, I think there's something we can get into. And in my head, I'm like, yo, this is somebody who I looked up to. Like, I looked up to him. Like, when it came to the sneakers and stuff like that, I was like, yo, this is somebody I know. Now I'm in the position to actually meet him on my own accord. It's like, all right, let's go attack him. So we go to one of the Puma events he had on Newberry, and he had a couple people out there. He had Emery come by.
That's fine.
It was
Emery Jones.
Yeah, Emery Jones.
Like Jay-Z's mans.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you got to say that, because like niggas would be like Emery Lincoln, but who the fuck is Emery, my nigga?
Yeah, Emery Jones at Rock Nation.
The nigga that did like mad years for Jay-Z. Yeah, that nigga.
His right hand.
Yeah.
And this is like during the time he had a collab with Puma, so he just dropped the sneaker. He had a whole bunch of merch with Puma, so he's doing basically a pop-up shop on Newberry.
Okay.
We're like, yo, the best thing to do, you grab a couple bottles, we come through, get the ace of spades, show some camaraderie, pop up, show our face, show who we are, boom. Frank's like, yo, we should work. And then from there, it's like, we're all on the same.
Absolutely, why not?
But at the same time, it's kind of, we respected, we wasn't too, we didn't show our face as, yo, you should mess with us because this is who we are. It was like, yo, we just here to support. We like what you're doing.
You should.
Like if you like what we're doing, we should work. But it wasn't anything like that. So based off of that, we became friends too. Before the music, it was probably a couple months before we even talked about music.
That's fine.
So, yeah,
that's
so
dope.
One of those things.
That's the best way to do it, man. It don't gotta be on. It has to be organic. You know what I mean? Like it can't be on some shit where it's like it's forced, where it's like I feel like I gotta work with this nigga type shit. So
and that's usually the case with like anything I kind of pair myself up to.
That's good.
Like a lot of the people, like even the people who's popping right now in the Boston scene, they like my family.
Right.
And that's the thing. A lot of people like I try to like not shy away from, but it's like I like what they doing so much. I don't like to do that whole, that's my man's. When it's like, yo, let them do what they do. When people
like who you talking about?
People, just like there's like T Drape, Dita Flyers, Cal, like those are like close people in my family. Like
UK Verde?
Like, yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. All right.
And it's like it might not be like super blood.
Right.
Like family.
But it's well connected. Yeah.
Yeah, like you can see Dita Flies in one of my early videos. Like there's like a lot of parallels like where you don't see. But in my head, I'm like, yo, I seen this come because I seen how they were interested in music, but it's slowly transitioning. And now
now they doing their thing. They doing their fucking thing.
And now I can see like, yo, it was taking a lot of game. Like they seen all the things you have to do. Now, when you see where they at now, it's like, oh, these are some smart dudes. They were doing exactly what they were supposed to do.
Absolutely.
So a lot of that, which is like stepping back and looking at it, it's like, yo, this is the whole point of making things work. It's like it might not work exactly how you want it to work, but if you put it in the work, people see exactly the good things you do.
Oh, and niggas will respect the work, bro.
Oh,
I mean, as long as it's quality, you know what I mean?
Especially like if you put in the work you're supposed to, you always find yourself having a seat at the table, like regardless of what you want to do.
Or you create your own fucking table, man. But anyway, keep going, bro.
Yeah, so like when working with Frank, it was one of those things where it's like, yo, you want to make beats, we rap. The best thing is to just pair people in the city. So that came up with like the whole BAU situation. He's from Worcester. So we had our boy Aries out there. He's holding down the scene out there. So we started working with Aries. And then got Prano out here. So he's like, yo, we need somebody out here we need somebody who be on that ish. So it's like, all right, we got Prano. Got me and A. And it's like, yo, we should just all rap. And then from there, it's just, yo, let's build up. But a lot of things come in with like work, you know. As you get older, you start realizing you got other obligations that you got.
Life, nigga, life, just life.
So a lot of things get confusing.
Absolutely. So all right, so let's flash all the way forward. You know what I mean? So we had Nightfall. That was 2018. What was the inspiration behind Nightfall? Because since we're talking about you and Av right now, let's just talk about that, and then we're gonna get into Sunset Blues. And what was the joint that you had before that? It was
Don't Fall Yet.
There you go, Don't Fall Yet. So let's talk about Nightfall real quick.
With Nightfall, that was like a spur of the moment. Like Frank sent us a pack, and I was like, yo, you know what? I could come up with a couple hooks. I got verses to this. I was like, yo, meet me at my crib. And I record from the crib too, but I usually don't. So I got the setup. I was like, yo, I'm gonna meet you at your crib. Just lay whatever verses you got. Banged it out within like a week.
So y'all did that at Av's crib?
I did my verses at my crib. He did his verses at his crib, and then we finalized that at the studio. Okay.
Yeah. So why Nightfall? Why did y'all name it Nightfall?
That was like a straight BAU tape where we basically gave it up to Frank, because Frank came up with the whole proposition. It was like, yo, we should do a tape. Y'all two have some good chemistry. I got some beats, whatever y'all come up with, shoot it my way. We shot him whatever we got. He formed his ideas around it, came up with the layout, with the whole imagery, with the artwork, came up with the whole font, came up with the name. Because basically when you listen to a lot of the production, it's like, yo, this sounds like Nightfall. Like we about to hit the night, but the sun's coming down and things are about to get real
to get ugly.
Yeah.
The Nightfall font was the Pulp Fiction font, right?
I don't know. Yo, with Frank, he kind of plays around with his fonts. It might be.
Let me look at it. Yeah, on Dead Dogs, that was a Pulp Fiction font.
He likes to play with his fonts, though.
Yeah, but something, I don't know. I might be bugging, but I feel like that's what it was. Hold on.
Nah, it's similar.
Yeah, I think that was Pulp Fiction. Something close to it. But either way, man, the album was fire.
Appreciate that.
I mean, bro, like on some shit, like I'm a huge fan of you and Av, you know, respectively as individual acts. So when y'all come together, it should be stupid. So y'all had like solo records on that project. You had the what was it, Dano?
Yep.
What was the inspiration behind that record?
That usually when it comes to like the recording process, I hear the beat, and then I hear like a story within itself of like whatever like the mood is, whatever type of temperature I'm trying to go off of.
So I see that feels cool. Ancestry, that roots in that video.
Yeah. So I had to take it like right where I be at. So I shot everything over there, and then we tied it up into the other video that we had. So we tied up the imagery because I kind of
played. The one that you had was what?
That was the single with Av, and I think that was what's the title of that shit? Yo, I'm so bad with titles because for the
That's
funny
terrible.
fact, I'm telling you, nowadays, unless you record from the studio and you release exactly what you put out right then and there, you title things 5 different things before they come out.
No, I believe it.
So I got the instrumental name of the song.
Was it Malkovich?
He got it was
Less is More.
Less is More.
Yeah.
So the whole theme of it was like, yo, I'm about to shoot my video a couple months after. I was like, yo, we should have like a running theme. We went in the Carhartt. That was kind of like the whole branding behind it. Yeah. Frank's like, yo, y'all should be wearing some Carhartt. Mix this in there. That's the imagery. So I was like, you know what? The next video we shoot, I'm just gonna fit the timeline. And we shoot this a couple months later. So I was like, yo, we're gonna shoot this in summer. We shot that last fall. If I'm putting that in the fall, we should just have a little interlude where I pick up the bag, pick up the work from the docks, and we kind of played it off of The Wire. If you watch The Wire, you remember the docks.
Right.
Yeah, so it was like, all right, we're gonna pick up from there. I shoot my little scene at the docks. So if you watch the video, it's kind of like me picking up the work and then going back to the docks to drop off.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing.
Even the beginning of the video.
Yeah, so it's like meet me at my crib, kind of ties it into the whole day before meeting up with Av.
Right.
And then later on that night.
All right. Okay. So Nightfall. So let's talk right before Nightfall, right? It was I want to say, damn, I fucking forgot the name of the joint that you dropped, and it wasn't even your joint. It was Av shit, but you was on the record. Name of it, Nobody.
Yeah, Mass Evan Lennox.
Yeah, Mass Evan Lennox.
Yeah.
But you was on that record, and you know what's crazy? I feel like your sound rubbed off more on Av than his sound rubbed off on you.
On that record?
Yeah.
Because the funny thing, Frank sent me the record. Well, he sent us both because we in a group chat. Sent us the record, and he's just sending beats like, yo, I'm kind of like one of those things you just send your friends some joint, like, yo, I'm working on this.
Yeah.
Me, I get the opportunity to hear any type of beat. If I like it, I'm just going to write to it.
Right. As
so
you should.
I write something. I give him a reference straight off the phone. Right then and there, he's like, yo, we going to record.
So the beat was already sampled with that Nobody shit.
Yeah. Frank came up with that concept. He sampled that.
For that.
Yeah, so he sampled that. And then me, I was like, yo, this is the theme we're going to go with. Which is funny. I'm kind of appreciative of it, of like the whole flow scheme of even Smoke DZA taking it.
Yeah. And that's what I mean, bro. Like that was big.
Yeah, when he took that flow, when I heard it back, I was like, yo, my man Smoke DZA is my flow. This is fire. Because a lot of times as a rapper, you hear somebody, you like, yo, I want to switch it up so I come off a little different. Right. But it was so formatted to the beat that it sounded like it had to come off like that.
It was perfect.
So I was like, yo, you know what? This is perfect. And usually when I make music, I try to be like an instrument where it's like, yo, I don't want to do too much where it sounds corny.
Right.
And I want to do enough to make it sound like this is the record. Like, even if you hear somebody else do a remix, you still hear it and you're like, yo, I like the format of this.
Your voice has that resonance to it where it's like your voice is the instrument. You know what I mean? So, and I feel like you know that about yourself. So you use that. You know what I mean? When you're creating, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's what separates the rappers from the musicians.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of niggas who rap who just, I mean, it's easy to fucking rap, bro. Like my fucking nephews could fucking put some rhymes together. You know what I mean? My daughter's 4 and she does it. Like I literally watch her do it, my nigga. Like I literally watch her put rhymes together, my nigga. So it's like if she can do it, you know what I mean? It's easy for grown men to do it. But the fact that you know, you recognize what your strengths are and you go off of that when you're creating is like super fire to me. So
I appreciate that.
Nah, for real, bro. So when it came to Nightfall, like I thought that was super dope. And and then you dropped Don't Fall Yet, right? That was September or October or something like that.
It was like, I think
2019.
November. I think it was in November.
Either way, I felt like there was like no gap between that and Sunset Blues. Like you dropped two projects like right behind each other. So what was your thought process on that? Like what made you want to do that?
I got a lot in the stash, so I was like, yeah, you know what?
So this is old shit.
This is old but new. Like it was fairly new. It was like within like the 6 months. Like all these recordings like within 6 months.
Okay.
So my whole thing was like, I got so much. And with me, like my problem back in the past was holding on to things to think of like the perfect time to drop. So for me to break that mold was, yo, just drop it. Screw it. Like whatever reception it gets, just drop it. It's the internet. Yeah. Yo, nowadays you got to look at it. People don't got patience for an update, for a timeline, for a release date.
Whatever.
Yo, just drop it. Yeah. Just whatever. Whatever's your time, just drop it your time.
Just drop that shit.
Yeah, so that was really, my whole game plan.
Yeah. So all right, so Don't Fall Yet. That was what's the progress is on, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so I remember that record. I love that record. And that happened. So was that something that was recorded prior, or was that something specifically for that project?
Yo, to be honest, since I be doing graphic designs and stuff like that, I was just bored, and I was like, yo, you know what? I'm at work. I'm on break. The artwork itself, I took off my phone. Yeah. I was like, yo, I'm looking at this tree on the phone. I was like, yeah, this look like some dope shit. I took it, and when I took it, I was like, yeah, this shit look like you falling off a tree.
That's crazy.
And I'm thinking of the timeline of all my artwork, because a lot of my titles and my artwork kind of goes with a theme. Yeah. I try to go based off of like, just like the mood I'm in, or like trying to tell my story,
however you feel,
where
right.
I'm at.
Yeah.
So like the first tape is like Chasing Visions, and then Broken Details, and then it's like Don't Fall Yet, because at that time I'm like, yo, this whole time I'm contemplating, I'm like, yo, I'm 25. Even though it seems like I'm young, I'm still looking at it like, yo, I started when I was like 13, 12.
Right.
So I'm like, yo, I'm 25. It's been 12 years into like trying to do this thing. It's not really going how I want it. Right. So the whole theme is like, yo, don't fall yet. So for me to be like, you know what, you haven't done enough, keep doing it, but do it at a rapid pace. Because I see like a little gap. And my story is like, yo, you took 3 years off, it looks like. So for me, it's like, all right, for the narrative to be changed, I got to just drop music and drop it a lot. Because I got a lot of stuff written. So
what do you feel like you need to do differently then, if that's the case, if that's how you felt?
Keep up the same momentum. Just drop and release content.
So let's say that this COVID-19 shit dissipates by, June, right? Let's let that.
Oh, tape's gonna be. I'm having a tape. Yo, tape's coming before then.
When's it coming?
Timeline, I don't know. Yo, it only takes 2 weeks to upload on platforms. So just
my nigga, I know that. You know what I'm saying?
So that's my mindset. I don't even try to. The thing that hurt me the most was knowing that there's a timeline to set and tell people before it was done. So my thing is, once it's done, then I just put it up. Like there's no timeline. Like, yo, I gotta have it done by this date because I said I was gonna put it out this date. Nah, there's no more of that. There's no more scheduled. Yo, we got it. October 13th is coming. Nah,
and honestly, I feel like that's what niggas need to start doing for real on a consistent basis, because a lot of niggas feel like niggas is checking for them. And honestly, man, like, with all due respect, like, you're still on a local level. You know what I'm saying? So it's like when you're still on a local level, who the fuck cares? Like, who do you think is really checking for you?
Yo, not even that. Not even that. It's even on a major scale. Yo, there's so much music. There's so much music.
You look at, bro, there's so many rappers. Like, it's fucking retarded. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like the amount of rappers that's out. Like, you could go on your Apple Music, on your Spotify, on your whatever it is right now, and you go on your new music, you're gonna find a new rapper that you never fucking heard of, but they're on.
And they might have 1 million followers.
Nigga. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, the fuck is you waiting for, nigga? Put that shit out. And if you know your shit's potent, you know your shit's quality, nigga, just put that shit out. And it's gonna do what it does, my nigga. And if you have the right marketing behind it, the right promotions, the things of that nature, man, it's gonna do numbers. and I believe in you, bro. Like I really do. Like I believe in what you got going on, man. So BAU, that's still a thing, right? Like y'all still working with Frank, right?
Yep.
All right, so I'm definitely looking, to see what happens with that. So Sunset Blues. Let's talk about that real quick. What's that about? Like, why Sunset Blues? Why was that the name of the project?
It was a playoff in Nightfall, because Nightfall was more so being in the BAU bag, where I was fitting to the Frank sound, the dark sound. That's usually not my cup of tea.
But you do it well.
I try to. So like the Sunset Blues was like, all right, the sun's falling down. This is my different day. The sun's coming down. I could express myself, hit the melodies, hit the raps, explain everything my way. So it's kind of just changing the narrative of Nightfall and just changing it to Deon Chase's way of doing Nightfall.
Okay.
It's the same. Yeah, it's the same title basically if you look at it. Nightfall, Sunset Blues.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense. So I want to bring this to a landing, bro, because I always try to keep these down to an hour. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
What do you want to accomplish by the end of 2020? How do you plan to choose what the future brings?
Choose? See, you trying to bring me back to like my old ways of trying to dictate things.
And man, that's what CWTFB means, man. Choose what the future brings, man. How you plan on doing that, man?
Like you said, being more consistent, just dropping. Without any regards of because to be honest, as you get into this business, to anybody who hears this coming up, numbers don't mean nothing.
They don't.
I'm gonna tell you right now, unless you get in a check with numbers, numbers online don't mean nothing.
Not a damn thing. Trust me, I know.
It don't mean nothing. You could have 1 million plus numbers digitally, metadata, whatever you want to do. It don't bring no numbers to your bank account. It don't.
Right.
So my whole thing was thinking that meant anything. So it held me from being, that person that drops, because I want to get the perfect amount of numbers at the perfect time. And just drop. It could be 12 plays. Those 12 plays, if they really buying something from you, $20 every month, that's way more than somebody buying 1,000 plus views for the first day and only getting $2. And you just gotta, you gotta treat this, the trap is a real thing, and in music, if you bring that same mindset, it's the same way.
Trust me, I know.
It's the same exact thing. So being fabricated with fake numbers, it's an illusion that they spread to you. So moving to the future is just drop.
Nah, I get it.
Being consistent so people know you there.
So what do you have any projects that are pending right now that you're looking to drop? You have anything to promote?
I got 2 projects, not to promote.
Okay.
Because nothing's finalized, but I got 2 projects in the work.
Okay.
I'm in the studio Sunday amongst this whole COVID thing. I'm in the studio.
Man.
I'm trying to. I got an 8-hour block. I'm quarantined to myself in there.
Just be safe, man. I know you got a little man to get home to, man. You got shorty that you gotta get home to, man. Like, that's the hard thing about this whole situation right now, is just keeping those. Because bro, honestly, I feel like if I get this shit, I'll be fine. You know what I mean? Because like I got a good immune system, but it's not about me. You know what I mean? It's really not about me. It's about the people that I love the most. So, protect yourself. Is there anything that you want to end out with? Is there anything that you want to leave the people with?
Shoot, I appreciate you. Give me the platform.
Yeah, my nigga, I appreciate you for even agreeing to do it. Like, you know what I mean?
Nah, vice versa. Like, appreciation is high, because to tell your story at any point for somebody to want to listen, that's like, even starting rapping and wanting to be a rapper, the main thing was to tell your story. So anybody who wants to listen to your story, that's like crossed off on the goals, because that's your whole objective.
The thing is like I felt like I watched you grow through the music.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you posted like a discography like a month ago or something like that. And it's funny because I looked at every single album cover and I was like, damn, I remember when this dropped. So like each album or project, whatever it was that you want to call it, it brought me to a certain point in my life that I was scoping your music through at that time. So like, it was just like, damn, like this nigga really been out here since 2011. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and it's 2020, bro. It's about to be 10 years for you, like when it comes to this project. So it just comes down to just making it worth it, man. Just doing it, man. I didn't know you was Cape Verdean. Like, I feel like that right there is a big is a big thing, because in this market in Boston, bro, like, nigga, Boston is like Boston and Providence, right? It's like the mecca of Cape Verdeans in the U.S., right?
Oh, yeah.
Especially Boston. You know what I mean? So, the fact that you one of those guys and you doing your thing, and the fact that you told me you got, you know, close ties with D the Flyers, man, like, I'm really excited to see what happens next, bro. Like, for real.
Oh yeah.
I'm a full supporter, bro. The fact that you even said that, yeah, I want to do this, that's real shit to me, because I was watching your movements for years, but like the first time I actually met you was the last podcast, Paula.
Yep.
And it was just real vibe since then. So anything you need, bro, I'm here in your corner, man. Anything you want me to do, nigga, I'll come and fucking hold the fucking light pole for you, nigga, for a video. This nigga Lyra told me that, nigga, on the last episode, and I said, yo, that's real shit. Like, for niggas to want to be able to come and hold a light pole for you, nigga, like, that's how you know they support
that's important.
You for real. Yeah,
nigga. People don't know until they get a video shoot.
Nigga, right. You know what I'm saying? It's like, that's part of the production, man. That's part of the process, bro. So anything you need, man, you know you got me, man. CWTFB Radio got you, man. I got you whenever.
I appreciate that.
I mean, anything you want to end out with, bro. I'm gonna leave it open for you right now.
Not much, but more things coming.
Okay.
That's the last thing. More things coming.
Okay. So peace and blessings, bro. Stay safe.
Same to you.
Stay healthy, man. You know what I mean? Keep the family
Bless
safe.
up to the fam. You
already know, man. Much love. Anything you need, you know, holla at me, bro. But this is CWTFB Radio. We out.